YouTube? It's your girl Jada Jonay, and I am back with another freaking video. And as you already see by the title, today I have the final part to my story time. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you all for like the overwhelming support on my last video. Y'all really like showed up and showed out. I've read like majority of the comments, and I just want to say thank you all for being so receptive to like what I was saying and basically the message. And I hope like my true intentions on telling the story were shown. Like, it was no ill intent, like I said. It was just something that needed to be done for me, for y'all, like just mainly for me, if I can be honest. This channel is literally like, I'm not gonna say it's a diary, but it's definitely my outlet that I will forever get to look back and see, you know, everything. There's so many memories on this channel, and like I told y'all before, that when I get older, it's gonna be so just beautiful to watch, to see the stepping stones to where I came and where I am at that time. If you have not already watched part 1, I would highly recommend you watch part 1 so you can understand part 2, because this is a continued video. When I watched part 1 back, I just was like, you are an idiot. Like, girl, you are an idiot. And it's so crazy to me because it's just like I let so much slide. So this video is actually going to be broken up into multiple parts. So the lighting is going to change, the setup is going to change, my outfit is probably going to change, but this is because I shot part 2 on multiple days. So I started shooting part 2 on the first day. Well, it was a continuation. I actually took a break because I was recording for like 1:30, and then I started the next day after school. But then I came back today because I had to do like an intro and an outro, and I actually had to include one more thing that I actually forgot in part 1. So that's why it's kind of like all over the place, but the message is still the same. Back into the story, I think I ended part 1 off on us moving together, basically like 2020, that time. So I actually forgot to mention one incident that happened in 2020. It's petty, but this was also like a little ordeal. This was a big thing. This was the first time like we kind of fought, you know what I'm saying? This is when I started getting mad. 2020, y'all know that's when the pandemic was around or whatever. That's when it was like, that was COVID first strike, okay? So that was 2020. There is no way that this happened right before my birthday. And my 19th birthday was when I got drunk. Oh my God, like y'all. That's why I was crying like that when I was, y'all. Oh my God. Okay, I made 2020, and I actually made a TikTok about this, and I never gave insight. I found a cheerleading sock in his car. I went to his house, and we had rolled, I think we like rolled down the street to like McDonald's. He literally lived like 2 seconds down the street from McDonald's. So we had went to McDonald's or something just to get like a little snack or whatever. And so we got in his car, and I seen a cheer sock like in the crevice of the seats. And you know, like seats like eat stuff up. So like I said, y'all, I don't know if I don't think I said it in part 1, but one big thing that I can say is God, I was never a searcher, if I can put it that way. Like, you know how some females like go through phones, they do little slick stuff to catch juice, they try and hack into people's pages. I was never that female. I never ever touched his phone. I never touched his phone. I was scared to even shut an alarm off when his alarm was going off in the morning. That is how like anti-phones I am. Like, I don't want to see a phone. So anything that had occurred, God placed that right in front of me. I swear to God, I never went looking. Of course, like I checked like locations and stuff like that, but I'm gonna do that anyways, you know what I'm saying? I got your location, that's why I got it for, to look at it, you know, see where you at, see what you're doing, you know. So, but as far as anything else, God has always just put Easter eggs everywhere, and just like, I'm gonna put it in front of you. That's up to you what you do with the information. So this was the one little incident. So we in the car riding or whatever, and I don't even know what made me look down or made me look just grab, but like I can't remember if it was on this side or this side of me. So I like grab down in the seat and I pull it because I seen like a sock, and I'm like, what is a sock doing in here? You know what I'm saying? That was like weird to me. I ain't understand. And so I pick it up, and I kind of did it on the sly, because he driving, he not really paying me no attention. So like I unravel it, and I see that it's a cheerleading sock. Now I was a cheerleader, don't get me wrong, but I graduated in 2019. Them cheerleading socks was long gone in 2020. So, and I had never, he didn't have that vehicle when I was in high school still. So he had gotten a new car. And so that's when I was like, okay, there's no way that I had possibly left some cheer shit in his car. This is recent. So yeah, I seen the cheer sock, and so I'm like, I pull it up, and I'm like, is that a cheer sock? is that what that is? And so he like, yeah, I don't know whose sock it is. So my mind immediately goes to, because he does have like, I don't know, y'all probably be like, I don't play like Little Sisters and blah blah blah, but he did have like real, like one of his homeboy sisters, like they was real close, like they was real close, dang near his sister. And I think she was a cheerleader, and she was still in school. So I was like, okay, trying to rack through my mind, like, okay, maybe some way, somehow, maybe he had picked her up from school or something, or like she was in the car or something, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to think of all the possibilities. I'm like, what cheerleader do he know that could possibly have left a sock in it? And that was the only one that had popped up in my head. But even then, it just didn't make sense. That wasn't even their school colors, you know what I'm saying? The sock was black and white. So I'm like, something not adding up. And so like, I'm just with the sock or whatever. And so my attitude immediately changes. It immediately changes, because I'm just like, okay, it's some. And in my head immediately goes to, you gotta put in the car. Because first of all, I will say, I don't think his mama played like that, as far as like letting multiple females come into the crib. You never know. But as far as I know, I don't think she played like that. So my mind immediately went to like, you gotta put in your car, and y'all doing whatever y'all do, socks off, and you know what I'm saying? That's what immediately came up in my head, you know? So I got an attitude almost immediately. So I'm like my heart dropped. You know, you find out some information or something is fishy, your heart gonna drop. So I'm just got the sock. So you know what you do, all girls know, like when you got an attitude, you gonna turn towards the side of the door. So like I immediately caught an attitude. And he like, you know what, I'm gonna take you home. So getting food, this swerves, and it's like, anybody else like know, like when you with it and y'all got like, and y'all into it, or he mad, just drive mad fast when they're mad. Like it's scary, almost like NASCAR driving. If you have experienced that, definitely let me know. But like just you know, just driving. And so takes me home or whatever. And so at this point I'm mad, like I'm mad, like, cause you basically like, I used to get gaslighted a lot. Like he was gaslighting me, like, I don't know how to start getting there, you tripping, blah 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 blah, like just basically making me seem stupid. Like it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. So I'm like thinking, like, I'm hoping like one of his homeboys maybe left it or something like that. But that was even reaching. I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt in my mind so bad, when it's crystal clear. So like, I ain't gonna cap, I never put my hands on a dude. One thing about me, I was taught not to put my hand on a dude, because if you put your hand on a dude and he hit you back, that's what you got, you know what I'm saying? So I was just mad, like angry, like I was just like, just upset. So that was like, we got into it real bad that night. That was my first night. Like I hit him, like I was upset, like I was super mad, because I just couldn't understand whose sock that was. Moral of the story, I never found out whose sock that was. I never knew anything that was going on. He just kind of chalked it up to, like, we just got out, y'all. It's so crazy how we got over stuff like that. Like, now I can't even remember, like, how that would even have happened. And I just didn't get clarification. But, like, and I think more so that is what also just couldn't get past. It's the not knowing. You know what I'm saying? So many things had happened that I didn't know the full story. The stuff that happened when I was in school, I only knew what he was telling me. So much more could have occurred than what he just said happened. And it's just like, the overthinking, I'm constantly overthinking about all these things that had happened. I don't know the full story. You could be lying to me. You know what I'm saying? That is what just ended it for me. Around the time he was involved in this little group, or I don't know if they was a car club or whatever, called Late Night. Hella cars. Like I was, and it's so crazy because it's like this dude literally had like a second life that I was not included in. Like I had like the at-home life with him, but like his out life, and that is what I'm very weary of with a dude. I would never want somebody who outside like that, because it's very easy for them to live a double life. I'm put up, I'm in the house, I'm in the crib, I ain't too funny going nowhere. He literally had like a second life, and it was so crazy to me. Like it was females in the late night group. It's so much stuff like I feel like just happened and I will never know. Like, oh, I just hate to think about it, because I used to get so jealous and so mad. Like he would stay out all night with them and like ride around town. I think that they like go to clubs or something. I don't even know what they used to do, but that just refreshed my memory reading those messages. He was a part of this late night group or whatever, and they would like literally like that whole summer they was just outside. I never forget, like I used to tell my friend, because she was a part of it, she used to go with them sometimes, and I'd be like, watch him and see what he doing. Like I ain't never too funny to get an invite, he ain't too funny to never want me to go with him, and that's also an indicator. If a dude don't want to include you in something, it's something that's being hidden. It was out to like 3-4 a.m. literally they would be out all night, and I would like be like at home waiting on him, watching his story, watching other people's story, just seeing him. And I'm not even an avid story watcher. I hate watching stories. There's just no point to me. I like to scroll. I don't like watching stories. And so like I would literally watch all his homeboy stories, and I'd watch his story just to be nosy and see what was going on. Very problematic at that time. And I'll never forget, like on my 19th birthday, I had a birthday party, and that was my first time getting drunk, y'all. I was not a drinker. I forget me just being drunk, and like I was literally crying about him when I was drunk. And now that I put it into perspective, that happened when I found that cheer sock in his car. It literally happened a week before that. I was looking at the dates, and that was May 27th. My birthday is June 4th. I think my party was like on the 5th or the 6th. So like when I put it into perspective, like my mind frame at that point in time, I remember he left my birthday party and I like went crazy. He didn't stay the whole time. I think they like went to the club, crying for him. And it's like, what the summer was rocky, and we still ended up moving out together. That's the crazy part about it. I blame myself for initiating the move in, because I felt like I was trying to push for this relationship to work so badly. And so like I pushed for the move, and like he had been saying like he wanted to move out and stuff like that, but I kind of signified it. Like my friend had just moved in these apartments, and I thought they were just the best. I was like, oh girl, I want to move out there too. This was ready to go. Running out of space in my room, it just felt like the perfect fit. But I didn't want to move by myself. I wanted to move with him. I did everything. I went to the apartment, did the paperwork, all that. I just told him when we was moving, how the apartment looked, to an extent. I should have never did that. I should have let him drag his feet. Like when we were supposed to go up to the apartment and like do applications and do this, he would always like drag his feet. That's very telling. So we moved in together, got our first apartment together. Like I said, we did a lot of firsts. And you know, it was cool. Initially, it's very cool. From going to seeing somebody every now and again, or they come to get you and they gotta take you back home by a certain time, to being with a person 24/7, sleeping in the bed together, spending the night, like every night. Oh, how better could it get, you know? But that's when like things started rising. Like when you're around somebody 24/7, you kind of compete them a little bit more. You can kind of see how they move and how they going about things, how they operate on the day-to-day. And kind of what I caught, and I'm not even gonna say it's all about cheating. Let's not say it's all about cheating. Let's bring compatibility into the equation as a whole. When you're not compatible with somebody, nothing you do can make y'all be compatible. Nothing y'all talk about, nothing. Like if you and a person are not meant, or y'all don't mesh, y'all are always going to bump heads. And that's how we were. We always bumped heads. So moving together. So I'm just going to skip through all of this. And like I'm saying, just to clarify, I have not always been a perfect person. I have my attitude, I have my ways. But at the end of the day, I definitely felt like the sweetness was sucked from me once things started happening. The thought never got out of my mind that he was cheating on me. So like, if I would hear his phone ring, a text message, like I would think it was a girl immediately. Like just a Snapchat, ooh. Like I don't even like hearing the Snapchat tone to this day. So 2020 was really a blur, like I said. Like I can't really remember everything pinpoint. All I know, the biggest thing in 2020 is we moved in together. Actually, I would say this is January, February 2021. So, and this was when I really got my heart broke, but I didn't leave. So his friend's girlfriend, her birthday, I guess, is in January, like the end of January. She had some type of party or something like that. And it's crazy because he had asked me did I want to go. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna go because like, I ain't know them like that. And like, you know, so she had like a birthday party or something and he went. I remember that same night, mind you, I was just like, I was texting him like, okay, be safe. Just text me when you're on the way, whatever, whatever. And I was like, come on home now, like for real. So this was the first time like I knew for a fact he's talking to somebody. So he texted me and he was like, I'm on the way home. So I'm like, okay, babe, whatever, you know, cool beans, okay. So he texted me, he's like, you're on the way. And then the next thing I know, I get a call to my text now number. Mind y'all, the whole reason I got text now on my phone is because he used to block me. So I get a call to my text now number from him. And so I'm like, why is you texting me on text? Why is you calling me and texting me on text now? Like, what? So he ends up calling me on my, well, I think I called him on my real phone. I'm like, why is you texting me on text now? And this is why I pause. God is going to show you things every single time. God is going to place stuff on your heart, on your spirit. Anything that I found out, God has placed it and set it in my lap, literally. So I call him. I'm like, why is you calling my text now number? What? Red flag. So basically, like I said, I could tell y'all all day how the conversation went or whatever. Bottom line is, he admitted that he was texting somebody from work. So he had worked that he had started a job, like, I don't even remember when he started a job. Like, oh, June. He started a job in June. And he was texting a girl from work. And this is actually somebody that I pinpointed to him because she was liking all his stuff. And I remember I used to go through his likes and like see who was laughing and reacting and stuff. And I said something to him about her and I was like, who is this? And he was like, oh, I work with her. She cool people. Whatever. So this was the person that he was texting on whatever. Like, I guess he would block her or something when he was at home or something. I don't know what he was doing. But basically, bottom line, once he told on himself, he was going through his blocked messages. Oh, before he even told me about this, he told me, he was like, I was going through my blocked numbers. And I was like, why is you going through your blocked numbers? Who was you trying to talk to? You know? So that was that. And so he ended up telling himself, and that was somebody from work. And then I was like, okay, whatever. So yeah, it was like, okay, cool, you know. So that happened or whatever. So he admitted to talking to her, but he swore it wasn't nothing to be worried about. But I was just like, why is you calling her? Like, why are you on your way home? Like, was you trying to go see her? Or something like that. So that was that. And so like I said, when they say that people don't stop cheating, they just get good at it, I really, really believe that. They just get better at hiding it. So after that situation or whatever, he, like a week later, mind y'all, so I kind of let it go because I'm like, okay, he's this green. Like a week later or two, y'all, and I'm going crazy, y'all. His birthday was coming up. It was his 21st. I'm going crazy, like, y'all, I wanted to rent a cabin. I'm thinking like, should we do a big trip? I want to do this big thing just to show out for his birthday. Like, I was trying to surprise him. I had ordered him so many gifts. My y'all, Christmas had just passed. I ordered him so many gifts. I bought him, like, I bought decorations for the party. Like, I really wanted to go all out. Like, I was stressing, trying to get his friends together. I was even like, I was trying to do the most. His birthday was during that, like a Tuesday or something like that. And I was gonna do the party on that weekend. So his birthday was cool. I was thinking we like went to his mama's house or something. We didn't really do too much. So the next day is his homeboy birthday. It's on like literally their days are like a day apart. Like his birthday was one day, his homeboy birthday was the next. So they went to the club that day. So I think his friend brother had him a party, whatever, at the club. Cool. He went, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. He walks through the door, whatever. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, hey, like, I'm like, we finna get lit. He was kind of tipsy. Like, I was like, oh yeah, party time. Soon as he walked through the door, I hear a noise. And like, I am so triggered by certain noises to this day. Like, just certain things that just triggers me. Certain roads, like the road that he was on when I checked his location when the stuff happened when I was at school. The period in time I was like on the GPS and the GPS would take me on that road. I would just get teary-eyed because it's just like, oh, just thinking about it, like, you know. So anyways, I hear the text now tone, and immediately I didn't say nothing. I just heard it. And I'm kind of the kind of person, I kind of run or I hide. Like, I just gotta regain my thoughts. I don't really want to address anything too funny. So as soon as he walked through the door, we was cool, like, and then I heard the noise. So I went into the beauty room and just sat on the floor, and like, I'm literally just staring at the floor, like, am I crazy? Like, just thinking. And there's so many moments where I feel like I was questioning my sanity. So like, I really just went to the Text Now app to hear like the sound to make sure I heard what I heard. And another fun fact, he hadn't just started texting this girl. He had been texting this girl in September of the prior year. He had the app on his phone because I heard it. So I texted him September 14th, like we were laying down sleeping, and I heard the ringer. So I got up out the bed and went into the guest bathroom, and I texted him. I said, why do you have text for your text now? I heard the ringer. I got the same app. So he basically just told me like, you ain't hear nothing because I don't have the app now, carry on. Every day on my off day is something. Exactly why I hate being home all day. I'll sleep on the couch tonight because you finna have a whole attitude and I don't have time. Now just let me know if you're gonna have an attitude or not. He gaslit me in that situation. So that was September. So imagine September and me just finding out this stuff in February, January. September, October, November, December, January, February. So that's almost like 6 months that he could have been texting this girl, maybe longer. So whatever, like, back to the story of February. So he came home that night and I'm just sitting on the floor trying to think, is this what I just heard or am I tripping? So I just remember, basically, bottom line, he knew he had f***ed up because he came behind me. He was like, what's wrong with you? So I'm like, nothing, because I'm just trying to think. Like, I don't want to talk right now. I'm trying to think. And so then he was like, oh, here you go. I didn't even say nothing about what was going on. You just assume you know what's going on. So he follows behind me and I just say straight out, I'm like, do you have Text Now on your phone? Or like, am I crazy? Like, please tell me I'm crazy, but I know what I heard. And he's like, oh, my homeboy sent me something on there. So I go to text his homeboy, who was not on the same page. And he's basically like, what are you talking about? First of all, it didn't make sense. Why would your homeboy text you on text now and he has your phone number? You know what I'm saying? So I was just giving it a benefit of the doubt. So I text him and I'm like, please tell me you just sent him a message on Text Now. And he couldn't even vouch because he literally didn't know what was going on. So like, I just remember like just breaking down and crying. Like, I went in the closet, like my comfort zone in that place, I kind of grew out of it well, no, because I was doing that in the second place, but my comfort place was just going in the closet and crying. I don't know, it's something about it being so dark in there, but like, I would just go in the closet and cry. In the closet and just started crying. I text my friends and I was like, y'all, love hurts, blah blah blah, like this is crazy. Just very, very upset, just because I couldn't believe, like, after literally a week ago or two ago that we talked about this and you said you would stop texting this person. You're still communicating with this person. So there has to be something there. And I just felt completely defeated. And so literally, like, everything came crashing down. Like, I was planning a birthday. Like, I was planning so much. And this is why you just gotta watch how you treat people, because I was literally going crazy, like just trying to plan a surprise just to make his birthday the best thing ever. And that just had me like over it. So I confided in my friend. Mind you, my family didn't know nothing of what was going on. I just used to tell them that like we not cool at the moment. Like I'm not talking to him, whatever. I never go into specifics like that until I know like it's over with. So I told my friend about it, Sierra. Y'all know Sierra. I don't care. I know she don't care about her name being in it. And I told her, and I'm like, girl, what to do? I done bought all this stuff for this party. I done bought all these gifts. Like, I know I don't want to be with him, but just what do you think I need to do? And so she just told me like straight up, like, if you gonna leave, don't leave bitter hearted. Like, don't leave with bad like intentions. Like, give him something to miss, basically. Like, get him be like, dang, like she still did all this even though like I hurt her. And so she's like, still throw the party, still whatever, because you already invited people. But she was like, you don't gotta get a gift. And so like I was really pondering or whatever, and like I literally, y'all, oh my god, it was so much tension in that house. I literally pulled myself out of the bed. I was crying all night long, literally crying, like stuff like, y'all, to cry like where you can't breathe, like that kind of cry. Like, and I got up that morning, and I'll never forget, like I went in, I think I was walking to the trash can. I threw something in the trash from my car, and I was walking from the trash can, and Jay came around. He was like, you look sick. And I'm like, nah, I just been crying. And that's the funniest thing ever, because he, like, I literally looked at dead, like in the eyes, like sick, just, oh, I looked at a hot mess, y'all. And so I got up, and I had got a call that I think I left my wallet like at Walmart or somewhere, so I had to go pick my wallet up from Walmart. And then I think I went and got Sierra, and like we just running all these errands, calling places, getting balloons blew up. Like we just doing everything like just to make this party the best. And like I kind of felt like his homeboys knew like we was into it, because I ain't gonna lie, like I kind of confused them. So I was trying to see like if they was going. And so the homeboy that didn't go along with it, he kind of got pissed with my ex, and he was like, I don't know if that's the reason why he didn't come, but like he was upset with him because he didn't vouch for him. But it's like, dude, you trying to lie, and you don't even have nobody in with your lie. You can't get mad if he don't go along with it. Everybody not bright like that to just go in. You know, I just threw the party, and of course the night went on and everybody was there. Like I remember just feeling bad because like some people didn't show up, and I just was like, dang, like really, like that's crazy. Like I'm really in your corner, and I feel like you don't even see that, you know? And so it's kind of like, you know, I was hurt. And like Sierra, like, girl, what do you care for? You did your part. So I said I wasn't gonna get a gift, but I just ended up giving the gifts. I'm not gonna be spiteful. I already paid for them. You can't send stuff back to StockX and Gold and all that. So I just gave the gifts or whatever, just to know like, dang, like I really like been thinking, like I've been planning this, you know what I'm saying? This is not nothing that's just thrown together. This was literally planned. And so that's how that went or whatever. But I was still like hurt inside, and I just knew like we weren't going to be together. So I played it cool like for the next couple of days, of course, because we were in front of people, of course, with birthday things and such going on. But I kind of just broke it down to him like, I don't want to be with you. I don't think we should be together. We should go our separate ways. And you know, he was apologizing. I never forget, like I literally sat on the floor and like cried with him and his homeboy. Well, I was the only one crying. They weren't crying, but I was crying, and like I just couldn't control myself. And I was just like, I'm just unhappy. I don't want to be with you. Like I don't think this is, we don't need to be together, basically is what I was saying. So that's how that went or whatever. And I feel like shortly after that, like he ended up like not staying. Kind of went through that, you know, we were sleeping in separate rooms and all of that. And I think just over time he just ended up moving out. After he had moved out, you know, we caught ourselves starting to try and date. Like we were gonna date, but it wasn't like, it was just, I feel like I didn't have the proper time to heal. I didn't have the proper time to get over it. Like, he was so pushing for me to just, let's start over, let's start from scratch, let's do this over. And it's just like, that's not how someone heals. Yeah, you could say like, we leaving that in the past, no going back, like just forget about it. But that stuff lingered on my heart. That stuff from a year ago lingered on my heart. Like, every time something had occurred, I never had a chance to just heal, because I was constantly being put in a predicament to just get over it. And I'm not saying that that was his fault, but the way that it was, and I know you can just leave a person alone, but the way I was just bombarded with just love bombing and just, let's start over, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, let's go on dates, let's take a trip. It's basically like, get over it. I'm gonna be in your life regardless. Whatever has happened, it'll never happen again. That's just basically how it was. And it was just so like, just a up and down constant, like just putting a band-aid over it. That's literally what I would say, just putting a band-aid over it. It never completely helped like anything. I was just hurt, and I was just trying to cover it up just by faking it. And so one of the things that we did, like, while we were in our dating phase, is we went to Charlotte. Okay, so we took a little trip to Charlotte. It was like, maybe this is what we need to get away. And I'll never forget, and like, this is when I started coming to my senses, y'all. 2021 was a year of like, just like really waking up and just noticing like everything around me, and just like really like seeing like, I'm only 19, 20 years old. Like, this is stuff that I shouldn't have to deal with, that I won't deal with. Like, if I'm not happy, or if I'm not compatible with somebody, why am I still in a presence? Why am I still trying to make it work? To a certain extent, I believe that you can make a relationship work. But when cheating is involved, that is such a different level of betrayal and hurt. Like, you never truly get over it. Like, you never truly get over it. And I'm going to talk about that more at the end of the video. But you never, that's something that you never can shake. Like, you're going to always remember, like, dang. And especially when you feel like you're the perfect girlfriend, you giving everything that you can give, everything that you've got, mentally, physically, emotionally. It's just hurtful when something like that occurs, and it's like, you can never go back. And so I'll never forget, we went to Charlotte and we argued dang near the whole trip. I'm not gonna say the whole trip, but the first night we slept in 2 different rooms. This is supposed to be a reconciliation trip, and we beefing on the first night we get here. That's when I started to realize, like, and I'm not gonna cap, like, I was talking to my friends, like, I don't see how much longer this gonna work. I don't think we compatible. Like, we just not seeing eye to eye. I don't think that this is my person, honestly. And I started realizing that, and I never forget, like, I opened up to my friend about it, and she was like, maybe it's a phase, but you've been saying this for a minute, so maybe it's true. And maybe the things that occurred has influenced this. But I was like, yeah, like, I really think it's over with. Like, I'm starting to picture myself with other people. I'm starting to think about other things. Like, I don't see this lasting much longer. And I knew that, but I was still trying to make it work. We had built this life together. So went to Charlotte, literally slept in, we had a suite, so like, I slept in the bed and he slept like in the living room, like the little living area. So, you know, just arguing. I can't even remember what the argument was about, but like, we just used to clash heads so quickly, and I just don't think that that is normal in a relationship. No way should y'all be sleeping in separate rooms because y'all bumped heads, like literally just arguing that fast. You know what I'm saying? And of course we got cool as the trip ended, but it's just like, that's not normal. But I don't think he was living like in the apartment no more at that time. Just time went by, and I know my birthday was coming up, and he was just like, you know, I'm gonna come back before your birthday or whatever. So we were just in the phase of just getting back together, getting back cool, but still things were just not 100% on track. So then my birthday came up, and I felt like we were kind of heightening. Like, I felt like we was kind of working towards something. I'm still kind of skeptical, but I felt like we was working towards something. So my birthday came, he had the little hotel, he surprised me real nice. Like, so for Sierra's birthday, I asked her did she want to go to Houston. So I was like, we can plan in Houston. Really, it's supposed to be us two, but I forgot how I asked her would she be comfortable if my ex went. Plus, I feel like with a man with us, it won't be as scary because just 2 girls going to Houston alone. I mean, we could have did it, but it was still kind of like scary, you know. So he ended up going on a trip with us, and we literally argued the whole entire trip. Started realizing that, like, after Houston, I was like, man, I don't know, like, maybe we'll need to move in with each other, like our lease finna be up, maybe we just need to go our separate ways, find our own ways or whatever. That happened. I'm kind of skimming through because we're finna get to like the main things that happened. This is when it slowly started dwindling down. This is late 2021. So with all that being said, we ended up moving in with each other. It was what it was. We moved into our second apartment with each other because we just wasn't feeling the first one. We outgrew it super duper fast. This is what I'm gonna call the inevitable downfall. So the first couple of months I was living together, of course we had like our regular scuffles, whatever. When we had moved, this was our regular little things that we would get into it about. But for the most part, things started looking up in the new place. Now there was little things that we would kind of get into it, like about like his Twitter likes, like he liked this girl's, like it was one girl who he was consistently liking her stuff, and she was consistently liking his stuff, and she's from around the area, and she be around like people that he be around. So I called him out on it, and of course it's just social media, it's just likes, it's blah blah blah. So we kind of got into it about that. But as far as like any other girls or any instances of like disloyalty, there was nothing that I could prove or that I knew about. I really truly felt like, okay, maybe he's trying to work out for the better. So mind you, that's cool that you're changing, that you're getting better, but that doesn't take away your past, your history. Like, you still have to earn my trust back. So it came a time where he wanted to go to a specific college's homecoming, and I'll never forget, like I told him straight up, like, you not going. Like, if you go, you single. And my whole thing was like, if you can't do me this one, then you can't do nothing for me. Like, at this point I was just fed up. Like, he was going out every night, every weekend, like he was with his homeboys. I think he had like a friend who was like rapping, and like he was at every show every time they would go to the club. Like, it was everything. Like, this wasn't an inside person. This was like, and that's why I say you have to a certain extent date somebody who's compatible with you. I'm a homebody, so me dating somebody who's all outside will never work, because it's just like, you want to be on the scene, you want to be in the mix. I'm not like that. And that's crazy, because a lot of dudes who are on the scene and in the mix, they love a homebody. They love a girl who's green. They love a girl who in the crib and don't know nobody. That's what they want. Like, dudes love girls who's not on the scene, so they can be out on the scene messing with the girls who on the scene, basically. This was the one moment, like, just don't go to the homecoming. You ain't even go to the school. Why you want to go so bad? You know what I'm saying? I know people go to different homecomings, but if you understood the situation, I just told him straight up, like, if you go, you single, man. Like, just go. You gonna be a single man. You ain't gotta worry about me. I don't trust you. And when a woman doesn't trust you, there's nothing, like, you need to do everything in your power to regain that trust. At this point, you haven't proven to me that you're trustworthy. When you're telling me that this is what you're gonna do, and I'm telling you that I don't trust you, I'm gonna explain to you why I don't trust you. X, Y, Z. This is what has happened. This is what has occurred. You can't expect me to trust you 4 hours away with hella girls, hella beautiful women. I can't trust you, and I ain't going for it. And that was an indicator also. I'm so insecure to the point where I can't trust you to go to a homecoming. That's when I know, like, it just ain't meant to be. And so I'm not gonna lie, like, I just started, you know, moving different, like, on the bottom line. So he brought it up to me again, and I think this was closer to the actual homecoming coming, and I think it was like a week or two out from the homecoming. And so he said it again, like, yeah, I'm going to the homecoming. My thing is, don't ask me can you go if you still gonna plan on going. Like, he literally asked me, but his mind was already made up that he was going. So I told him again, you go, you single. And I never forget, I was sitting in front of the TV. I had Wingstop, and I was sitting on a little tray eating. I was eating. I was like, you go, you single. Like, I lost my whole appetite. So what did I do? I removed myself from the situation, because that's growth. Old me, kick stuff, throw stuff, yell, scream. But no, I went into my beauty room, closed the door, locked it, and I just mind my business. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you, because some people can get a rise out of you, and when I get angry, it's like smoke coming out of my ears. Like, I get real angry. So I just told him, like, straight up, like, you go, you single, blah blah blah. So he came behind me, like, just trying to initiate an argument. So we did end up getting into an altercation that night. Like, we just argued, and I ended up leaving. I just left. The situation was going to be resolved. I just felt like it was just getting more heated than it needed to be, so I left. Disrespectful things were said on both behalves, but that just kind of like just rung the bell of like, it's over with. It's no reason why, because I asked you not to go somewhere, that we should be arguing like this, and it shouldn't be this brutal to the point where like we're just going back and forth screaming at each other. So that's when I knew like it ain't meant to be. That's when I started realizing like this ain't gonna work. So after that huge thing, I think he ended up moving out again, and so I just was like, I'm over it. Like, it ain't us. Like, that's when I came to terms. I think this was like October. So did he move out immediately after that? I can't remember. So this is us just going through it. And so like I said, we literally slept in separate rooms for months at a time. Like, we was literally, I wasn't sleeping in the bed with him. I was like sleeping on the bedroom couch, or like sleeping in the guest room. Like, it was just literally like that. And it's crazy, but it's literally true. And I feel like at our age, that shouldn't be happening. Like, we were literally like, we were going through a divorce, and it's just like, at our age, that shouldn't be happening. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm gonna keep it real 100 with you. We weren't doing anything either. We were not sexually active, and this was also his argument a lot of the times about us not being sexually active. But from my perspective, I'm a very emotional person, so I cannot engage in the act with anybody if I'm not mentally there. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not secure, if I don't feel loved, appreciated, or safe. So I'm not gonna lie, it was a long time, but I don't thrive from sexual encounters. That's not like, I don't need, I went a long time without it, so it's nothing that is a necessity to me. And if I don't feel like in a stable frame of mind, I can't engage in the act in general. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So that was my debate. Like, and he didn't really understand it, but like, no, like, that's why, like, I don't trust you. I don't feel loved by you. Like, you've betrayed me. I don't want to do anything with you. I don't want you to touch me. That was just how it was with me. And so you can say, yeah, how you gonna live with somebody and do, yeah, but I'm not obligated to give my body to anybody. So that's just how that kind of went. So yeah, separate rooms for months, literally. And so this all occurred after that October event, and I think pretty soon after that he ended up leaving. I can remember like one time he left, and I like wanted him to stay. I don't know what I was going through. That was like the only person that wanted me. Like, that's just how, like, it was a very small period. Like, I feel like I had lost it. Like, I just like, and I was just like, man, there's nothing out here. I might as well stick with who I'm with. And that mentality will literally get you nowhere. Like, thinking like everybody's the same, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I'd rather get hurt by a stranger than somebody who claimed that they love me and knows me for real and saw me grow, you know? And so after that happened, he was just like a spiral downhill. Like, we kind of, so like throughout November, I don't even think we was living together. I can't even remember, y'all. This is a while back. But that October incident was the inevitable downfall. That was my closure. If I can be honest, and as a woman, like, you can stay in a relationship for a long time, and even he didn't understand this when I told him it, but you can stay in a relationship for a long time and be completely over a person. And I was trying to give myself like, nah, well, this is where he good at, this is what he does nice, I like this, or whatever. But at the end of the day, I felt like the bad definitely outweighed the good. And it's not just about cheating. Take away the cheating, it was the compatibility. Oil and water, we just didn't mix well with certain things. When we were good, it was cool, but it never felt like it was on a deeper level. Like, you ever just, like, you know, a strong love and just somebody that you can just bond with so deeply and just talk about any and everything with. It never felt like that to me. And that's why I feel like it's just like we weren't each other's person, and that's completely fine. We were brought into each other's lives to teach each other a lesson. He taught me so much, and I know I taught him so much. And that's just what it's supposed to be. Sometimes it's not meant to be a forever thing. Sometimes it's just for a season. And so right before Vlogmas, he had came back home. And so we were pretty good that December. I know y'all didn't see him much, and y'all was like asking could we do videos together, but I don't even know if y'all knew if we were in a good place. People would ask about him and want to see, and like y'all know, it was just little things that people would peep. Like if I was on live and he came through the door, like I would side eye, or you know, just little things that people would peep. But like we were really going through it, and so like that's when we kind of like got back in with each other and trying to make it work. And we was like, for the new year, we've turned over a new leaf, we about to start over, blase. So I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of confided in it, and I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying, we finna try and make this work. Like we came so far, we've been through a lot, it's a new year, let's let all that stuff behind us. And so New Year's came, we like, yo man, we gotta get right, man. We had a bad year. 2021 was tough, y'all. It was tough, moving in, moving out, fighting back and forth. It was just so much, y'all, so much. And so I'll never forget, and this is when I completely, like, I said I'm done. Like I don't want to work for it, I don't want to try, I don't want you, we aren't a thing. And this happened like around New Year's. We went out to Columbia to go to Dave & Buster's. We went on a date, and we had such a good date, y'all. We had so much fun, like, and that was like our last time like going somewhere. Like we had so much fun, y'all. We had so much fun. And so leaving the date, and to this day, this wasn't even nothing that was like crazy, but it was just like, just leave, let it go. You don't feel how you once felt. The love is gone. You're not the same person. Like, just let it go. So he had received a phone call, and his phone was on CarPlay, and I seen the name, and it had like an emojis. It had emojis and stuff like with it. And see, I don't say much about emojis because like I have contact names that are like from hella long ago, and like they still have like old ass emojis and stuff like that on it. But he answered the phone, and all I heard on the phone was, did we do anything, basically. And so I'm like, who this, who that? So he gets all mad, and he's like really like, because I feel like he was really trying at this point. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like he was really trying. And for me to be right beside you and hearing this phone call, it was like, yeah, you done fucked up, you know? And so he's all upset and mad. He's like, man, I promise you we never did nothing. Her person or whoever the girl was dealing with thought they had something going on. But I am a realist. Personally, I can't prove that anything was going on. Look, I never went through this man's phone to see anything. But personally, there's always some truth to a rumor. And he was like, he was putting a rumor out that they had did something or done something, whatever. There's always some truth to a rumor, whether it be messages that are questionable, whether it be something really did happen, or just, you know, anything. And so like he wanted to show me messages, which I never saw. It was kind of just thrown out there, but he knew the type of female I was. You could say, oh, can I show you the messages? Do you want to see? Do you want to know the truth? I'm not never gonna be the female that say, yeah, let me see it. I don't care. I'm gonna go off my gut, and that's just what it's gonna be. That don't move me. And so like that's what it was. So we in the car, like he's speeding because he's so upset, just mad. I'm like, can you please slow down? So he talking all this. He like, man, I'm pissed, man. Putting out this rumor, blah blah blah. But like I said, in my head, I'm like, it's some truth to every story, you know, whether y'all been texting, talking about something. And first of all, knowing the female I am, he already knew. Like he told me that all their relationship was like talking to each other about our relationship. He would confide in her to talk to her about stuff that we had going on. First of all, you know the type of female I am. I've told him on multiple occasions, because he always keeps a female friend. Don't go telling them my business. Don't go telling them what we got going on. I don't have no homeboys. Literally, I had no homeboys. I wasn't telling nobody what we got going on, our business, about you. Don't go telling another female about what I got going on. Because the majority of the females that he was cool with, mouth of the South. And guess what? It was always something coming back to me because he had told something. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like, drop it. That ain't me. I'm a private person to a certain extent. And I don't really mess with people in the city like that. So don't go telling. Like, he was just too cool with everybody. And that was another peeve that I just didn't like. And so I kind of just was like, chill. I was like, just chill. We gonna go home, have us a good night. Like, don't let it phase us. Whatever. So that night we got home or whatever. I had to kind of take a breather. And so, like, I ain't gonna cap, like, I lied, but I was gonna go to my friend's house to get some margarita mix, because I said we gonna make drinks, we gonna have us a good night, we gonna watch some movies, bake cookies, whatever. So that was really my gateway to, like, call my homegirls and be like, yeah, y'all, listen to what just happened. So I went to my homeboy house, and when I say homeboy, y'all know Jay. So I got his margarita mix. That was my way to call them. And I'm like, y'all, girl, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And so they agreed with me. They was like, yeah, it got to be more to the story if somebody's accusing him of doing something with somebody. And so I was like, yeah, it's something to it. Had us a good date. So I'm not going to press the issue too much. But just know, like, I'm done with him. Like, I'm over with. It's over with. So honestly, I can't even remember, like, how it went, how the night went. I don't remember if we was cool or what. But basically, that was, like, literally the end. And so, like, after that, we was just arguing every day. It was disrespect. It was so much stuff involved. And just bottom line, the day he left, I knew that was, like, the end. Like, the day he, like, packed all his stuff and left, usually it'd be like, oh, he gonna be back. He gonna be back. But, like, this time it was just something different about it. Like, I never was done for real before, but this time he moved out, and it was like January, like mid-January maybe. I can't even remember. Like I said, y'all, I could go all day about, like, in depth of what happened, but, like, we literally just argued up until the day that he moved. But basically, y'all, it was just the end. And after that situation had happened with the phone call or whatever on, like, around New Year's, it kind of was like the inevitable end. And it's like January was like the worst month of my life. That's really why I went to New York, because I had to just get away. I was so, I'm not even gonna say depressed, but just mentally drained in January, because I was constantly fighting with him, going through stuff, and it was just so bad to the point where I couldn't even function for real. And I feel like y'all could tell I was posting, but, like, I was literally just trying to find ways to get my mind off of stuff. And so that last incident, he didn't really do anything, but it kind of was like the icing on the cake for me. It was kind of like I wasn't already feeling you, you know what I'm saying? I was just trying to make it work, because, like I said, familiarity, I do not like change. I do not like, which I think is a bad thing, because change is always needed for growth. And I don't like change. I don't like not knowing. I don't like inconsistency. I like being familiar. So I was just trying to make it work with him, but I knew in my heart of hearts, like, I'm honestly deep down inside not feeling this dude. And it's so sad, because it's like it took all of that for you to be the person that I wanted you to be. Towards the end, I'm thinking, like, he was the perfect person that I wanted him to be. You was taking me on dates. You was buying me just thoughtful gifts. You would buy me flowers. You would get me my favorite fruit from Publix. Like, he would do these little things, and it's like, we've been together how long? You could have been did this. And I know we were young, but I just feel like being young is not an excuse to treat anybody any kind of way. And we were young, but I am very mature. I've always been mature, and, like, especially mentally mature, emotionally mature. Like, I think on another level, especially in relationships. I don't think just surface level, basic. Like, I date for the intention of one day marrying you. I'm not just wasting my time just kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not me. Like, if I'm gonna go with you, if you're my boyfriend, one day I want you to be my husband. And, like, it was really just, I was over it. Like, I knew I was over it, like, y'all, for 3 years straight. For 3 years straight, I was 100% loyal. Even when things were done to me, I was 100% loyal. God can strike me down right now. If I was in a relationship, I was 100% faithful. Now, I did, like around like October, after that homecoming stuff had occurred, I did like text like a dude back. Like he was replying to my story, and I think I like gave him my number, and I probably texted him for like a couple of days, but that wasn't nothing major. It took for stuff like that, like he started going through my phone and like just trying to like find things. I feel like he kind of knew that I was drifting away from him, and like that hold that he had on me was slowly releasing. Like I didn't too funny want to argue. I didn't really question anything. I just kind of let go with what go. And like I feel like he kind of noticed it, and that in turn made him insecure. And it's kind of like the tables had turned. And it's so crazy because when they say them tables gonna turn, baby, them tables is gonna turn. Like I said, all in all, like it was just a crazy situation. It was just a crazy experience in general, but I wouldn't change it for nothing, because I feel like it made me stronger in a way. But I kind of recognized the signs. Now I was drinking, like for real. Like I don't even know drinker, but I was drinking, child. I was trying to drink my problems away. I was going out. I went out of town to New York, got drunk the whole trip. Like I was really just trying to heal myself in the worst way possible. And then like another thing, when you get out of a relationship with somebody, y'all, I was fresh out of a relationship and I was trying to hop on the first thing I saw. You know what I'm saying? I needed time to heal. So I kind of hindered my healing process because I went and talked to this dude and it didn't work out. In a very vulnerable position, I had just got out of a relationship. So I was very, very vulnerable. And while I wasn't on the spectrum of like, I don't trust no, okay, well maybe I should just be with my ex. When you freshly out of a relationship, take that time to heal alone. Do not do too much trying to talk to people. Don't too funny date. Like literally take that time alone. And I really had to learn that. I think it was like, dang, was it like, it was a long time I didn't really see nobody. I think from like March, like after I came back from New York, I ain't talked to nobody too funny. I was really to myself, like just trying to learn how to like learn that independence. Just going, running errands alone. I would always be that person to call friends with me, to do little stuff with me. And I know y'all remember like the date video that I took myself on a date. Like I was just trying to learn myself and like that independence. Because after, of course I was heartbroken, because you know what I'm saying, I expected this to be my person forever. Literally, like I expected this to be my person, my husband. And so like it was very hurtful to know like eventually I'm gonna have to do this process all the way over again. And it's just overall a draining process of like getting to know people and like dating. And I'll talk about dating in a few, because I know y'all want to know the scoop. I would definitely say in your healing process, take that time to properly heal. Don't talk to your ex. Mistakes I made, I was still in communication with him, trying to make it work, so you say, but I knew I didn't want to deal with him. It was kind of like, and I'll take the fault for this, because if I can be real honest, I was kind of being manipulative, and it was kind of my way of like get back. Subconsciously it was get back. I knew that he wanted to be back with me, and it's so sad because y'all, he was doing all the right things. Like he was saying all the right things. He was talking about marriage, he was talking about just all this different stuff, like I want to be with you, like you the person. And it's like, it literally took for you to lose me for you to understand my value. And it's just like, you had me in a headlock, you had me in a chokehold, and that was your moment to take advantage of the situation, the moment to like realize like, oh, this woman is in my corner, this is my person forever. But it took for me to endure all of this crazy shit, mind altering stuff, for you to come to the conclusion like, no, this is my person. And it was just so hurtful because it was like, yeah, you're doing the right things. I'm gonna accept these gifts. I'm gonna go on these dates with you. But like, if you wanna bring me food, yeah, I'm gonna take it. But like, no, I don't wanna be with you. And I knew that, but I was still leading it on to be something. So I do apologize for that, because that's not the way to go about things. But like I said, it was kind of me taking that resentment out on him because of all the stuff that had happened. You gotta take that time to heal. If you don't take that time to heal, you're gonna be forever in that same cycle with a different body, with a different person. And I had to come to that conclusion. Like, I was just doing stuff, just talking to people, just doing stuff because I was bored, because I was lonely. And if I can be completely honest, I'm still in my healing phase. And like I said, it was easier for me because I kind of lost feelings while I was inside of the relationship. So in the midst of it, I was healing myself. Like, just after everything had happened, I just, like, after October, after that homecoming incident, I was healing myself constantly. Just like, let go, let go, let go, let go. Like, just telling myself, let go, let it be. Like, and so by the time that we came up out of it, I kind of had this mentality of, I'm cold-hearted. Like, I really, really thought like I was over it, and I wasn't 100% over it. And so when it came down to it, like, I cracked, you know? And I don't know, like I said, you gotta take that time to heal, and heal alone. Do not go up under somebody trying to heal. Do not turn to drinking or substances to heal. Do not turn back to the partner that you left to heal. Don't even, I would say you can confide in friends and family, but at the end of the day, you have to do that internal soul searching. You have to do the inside work, because like, that's what I had to come to conclusion. I had so much fun in New York. I came back, we came back on Valentine's Day, y'all, and I was so sad on Valentine's Day, y'all. I was so sad. I was talking to a dude at the time, and like, this how I knew like he wasn't. Nigga asked me what I was getting him for Valentine's Day. Talking to him after that, for real, because I was like, asking questions like how to know when to leave. Well, y'all heard my story. Y'all heard my story. And when I knew to leave is when I just wasn't feeling it no more. When I wasn't happy, when like, it was a point in time, like, every little thing he did disgusted me. If I can be completely honest, like, I was just disgusted. Like, nothing he do could like make me happy. I was just like repulsed by every single last thing. And that's just me being honest. I didn't want him to touch me. Like, I know he would touch me, and I would just like, don't touch me. Like, I was like at that point. And that's how I knew like, it's time for me to end this. It's time, because you don't do that to a person. And even though things have been done to me, I cannot find it in my heart to be a mean person. I'm such like a kind-hearted, soft-hearted person. I feel like I have a guilty conscience. You know what I'm saying? I really have a conscience, and you can't do that to a person. And I knew I couldn't do that to a person. So I just expressed to him like, I don't think this is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? This is how I feel. And I expressed this to him on multiple occasions. Like, the feelings, I kind of lost feelings, you know? And that's how I knew that it was time for me to wrap it up. Like, when I just wasn't feeling it. And it's so crazy, because at one point, like, I was obsessed. I was obsessed, y'all. Like, in love, like, with every last part of him. Literally, like, everything. Like, in love with this person. Every single last part. And for me to go to that, to just disgust and just like repulsion, I really had to have like just been over it. And so like, that's when I knew that it was time for me to get on up out of there. Cause like, what's the point in sitting here in face and I'm not happy, I don't want to be with you. We young, we got so much more life ahead of us, and that's just what it is. It was just certain things, like I just felt like he would never connect with me on. Like I told y'all, I'm a deep thinker. I just think, and I'm an emotional person. I'm a super emotional person. And like, I can remember, like, we had a talk one night. I can't remember, was this had to be like, we had broke up around this time. I think we was broke up. I think this was like in January. And like, can y'all believe I was with somebody for 3 years and I never seen like emotion, like real emotion. I never saw this man cry. And you may think like that's not how some people express themselves, but I feel like there was moments where that emotion should have been there, when you should be able to connect. And I feel like I'm very big on emotion. If I can't connect with you emotionally, then I can't connect with you, period. Pro and cons list, trying to understand our love, trying to just think about like what gravitated us to each other in the first place. What gravitated him to me was physical things, outside things, you know what I'm saying? I carried myself well, I was pretty, I was this, I was that. I wasn't too funny touch. That's cute, but deeper than that. And I know it takes for you to know somebody, but he didn't know me in the way that I felt like my partner should know me. Once I realized we weren't compatible, it was kind of like a downhill from there, because it was just like I was trying to see exactly where we relate, and it was almost a disconnection everywhere. Like when I looked at like what are our common interests, we literally have nothing. We literally had nothing in common. And it was so scary to me that I could be with this person for so long and literally have no common interest with them, like at all. We didn't relate. And so that is why I'm very big on compatibility. If I can't talk to you, like you can feel somebody out from a conversation. If I can't talk to you and kind of get a gist of how you think and stuff like that, and it's not deep, and it's not like, everything was so surface level. And that's why it's like, my next person I'm with, like I need that emotion there. I need you to care about me. I need your heart on your sleeve. I don't need somebody that's cold, nonchalant. That's just how I am. I want you to, when I cry, I want you to cry. You know what I'm saying? Don't just look at me cry. I need you to be that emotionally connected with me, that like me crying hurts you, especially if it's at the cause of you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously I'm just crying about something, but you hurting me should hurt you. And I know everybody doesn't express themselves like that, but for to be with somebody for 3 years and to never see them cry, that was a big thing to me. And like, I never ever seen this dude cry. You can go from just chilling, watching TV, just talking, and then 5 minutes later we arguing about something. It's like something so small. The smallest things he did pissed me off, the smallest things I did pissed him off. And it was like compatibility. So in this day and age, social media, I definitely think you can argue with whoever you want to argue with. Don't argue with me. But I definitely think that everybody is trying to move too fast. I moved out at 19 years old. I didn't have to move out, child. I was kicked up, cooped up, wasn't paying no bills. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think like everybody see like couple goals and like all these couples are moving out together. If I could recommend to anybody, I would say to skip that step. Personally, me, I don't see myself living with a man again until I'm engaged or married, because I've already experienced that, and I wouldn't say it was bad, but as a woman, you need your space, you need your room to grow, you need that single woman lifestyle. Not even if you're single, but like, I don't see myself living with a dude, splitting bills. Like, never done that, won't do it again. It's just leaving room for just too much. and you can say like you get to know a person more. You should, when dating a person and like being around them for however long, you can definitely get a glimpse of who they are and how y'all would be living with them. At that point of y'all being engaged or married, you should have been on trips with this person. You should have been to their place. Like from now on, when I'm dating or when I eventually get a boyfriend, he can come over here, he can chill, he can spend a night. But living with me, no ma'am, no sir. Take your ass home. I want to pay my own bills. I want full control over everything. Like, that's just not what we doing, and I'll never do that again. If you notice, most people who move in together, it's either gonna speed up the break-in, it's gonna speed up the breakup process, or they gonna move out with each other eventually. Like, that's literally the cycle how it goes. Cause it's just like we're too young. Like, and I realized like we was really trying to be grown, like adults, trying to figure it out. And I feel like that was also our biggest downfall, because we was trying to just out here just kind of going with the flow, just trying to learn life, but learn life with each other. And I feel like we kind of was growing together at one point. We was never growing together. We tried to grow together, but instead of growing together, we grew apart. And so like that was bound to happen whether we moved in together or whether we did. Just take my advice for it. Now, this is not for everybody. I know we're gonna have the people in the comments like, oh, I've been living with my man for however long and blah blah blah. This is not about that. This is from my experience and from a lot of people's experience. Just skip that step, or at least if you're gonna move in with somebody, please have some experience living by yourself before you take that step of living with somebody. I never had that experience of living by myself besides college, and even then I had like a roommate. So even now, just living in this place alone, I'm still learning like myself. And it's crazy because like sometimes I don't feed myself. Like I'm still learning I'm just learning myself. And it's just a different thing when you have your own. You don't have to share. When I look at my place and I look at how much it screams me, how I don't have to worry about having masculine colors or having it neutral for a dude. It's me when you look in here. And it's something about that that's just like, I don't know, I feel like I needed this to grow. Like, this is my motivation. This is why I've been so consistent, because my area is just me. I'm surrounded by me. 20s are so freaking, going into your 20s and being in your 20s is so, like, it's an enlightening period. I'm kind of honestly ready to get out of my 20s. Like, I feel like everything they said about your 20s is true. You kind of confused. You trying to feel people out. You trying to feel yourself out. You trying to figure out where you trying to go, what you trying to do. Like, I truly believe that when people say that, like, your 20s is like all over the place, because I'm only 21 and I've been through a lot when I was 20 and 21. So like, I feel like just take that time to just find yourself, know yourself for real, and not your old self. Because I'm not who I was a long time ago, and I'm constantly growing and evolving. Everybody's just moving too fast when we really just need to be just pacing ourselves. I never forget, like, I used to think that I was gonna be married at 23, 24, and I was gonna have kids by 25. Woo! It's looking real 30-ish, okay? It's giving 30. I'm what, 21? That's 9 years. I don't foresee me finding the love of my life in 9 years. Like, I might not, but child, I don't know. I don't see it. But just don't be in a rush. Life is gonna life, and what's meant to be is gonna happen. God works in mysterious ways, but everything happens for a reason, okay? And stay true to yourself, and whenever anything feels bad or just doesn't feel right, remember that everything happens for a reason. And I ignored all of God's signs. I ignored all of God's signs until he basically, like, I ignored all his signs. I'm gonna be honest. I ignored all his signs, and that's my fault. I'm gonna dish on myself, like I said, my downfalls. because I don't want to put it off on one person. I definitely had my flaws, and I can definitely say like I'm not for everybody, and I'll explain why. And that's why I feel like I need the next person that I'm with has to not only be super secure and confident, but they also have to be firm and like solid. So like the type of person I am, I'm a very dominant woman, just naturally. I'm an alpha female, because I feel like to a certain extent I have to be. I'm not going to say I'm very submissive. Now I would like to be submissive, but I can't be submissive in a setting that there's nothing to submit to. So if I always have my guard up, if I always feel like I have to be strong, I'ma forever be the alpha. That could be good or bad to some people. Now a lot of dudes like that. A lot of dudes like, oh, you strong, you that, you know what I'm saying? But some dudes can be intimidated by that, or they can feel like you're doing too much, or you just, you know, it can be a lot, don't get me wrong. But my downfall is definitely that I'm an alpha female, and I don't know when to shut up. That's just me being real. I don't know when to shut up. I know my worth, even if I may not display my worth. I know my worth, and I was the type of person where I would talk about my worth when things would happen, like, oh, I can get any dude I want, or I don't need you. Those were the type of things that would come out of my mouth. And it's like, yeah, you're saying this, but you're not pursuing this. It's not what you're doing. So that can be hurtful too. And I've definitely said a lot of hurtful things in which I feel like people say things when they mad. So I definitely apologize on that side. But I'm not gonna say I'm not perfect or whatever. But like I said previously, like just things had occurred. Like once I had to put my guard up, my guard was completely down at one point. So once I had to bring my guard back up, it was up and it was stuck. That's kind of why we didn't mesh well, because I'm the controller. I like to direct. And if you're not a dude that can really, like I said, he was still growing up as well as me, but like I said, I was way more mature in that aspect. So if you're still trying to navigate life, and you kind of had this female who kind of sort of got it figured out and trying to direct and make these steps and do these changes, it can be kind of, and I'm not going to say intimidating, but it can be kind of draining. But like I said, hurt people, and when I'm hurting, like, it's best just to stay away from me, because I'm gonna hurt you too. You know, that's just point blank period. Especially if you're the one that hurt me. So like I said, that's so true. Hurt people. And I definitely said a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have said, but it be like that. Y'all was hurt. So sign off and like literally like just closing it off, and like I'm balling this piece of paper up and dunking it in the trash can. This is the end. This is the last time that we're going to speak on this situation ever again on live. I don't want to talk about it no more. When I read comments, I just got to learn to ignore these comments. But the final thing that I will say, and this is a direct message, I know y'all probably gonna show my video because I know how y'all do, but I just want to say, like, through it all, I feel like I came out a better person. Now what I will say, because I ain't gonna lie, like I had my player days or whatever, I had my player days, but I will say like that relationship definitely humbled and softened me. And that's kind of complete opposite of what you would think. You would think that it would make me more hard and more tough, but I was talking about this like with a friend the other day, and I was like I'm not the same person that I was. Like I'm literally so sensitive, so emotional, like, and I never was that person. And so like it really softened me. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if it's because we went through so much. And I just also want to throw it out there, because I was reading some of y'all comments, and I just want to say, like, in my, like, deep in my heart, I don't feel like he was a bad person. While it may have took him a while to see like my worth and like who I was as a person, I don't think that he was a bad person. And also that's kind of what gravitated towards me to him, because I could see the way he loved his family. I could see like he was a good person. Like I felt like outside of me, like, and not even outside of me, because when he wanted to, he would. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and front like he was just dogging me out, like he just didn't care for me. Like, no, that's not what it was. But I don't know how to describe it. It's weird to explain it. Like, but like I said, he wasn't a bad person. So I don't want y'all just to think like, and I should have probably said this at the beginning, but this person isn't a bad person. Like I said, the way he loved his friends, the loyalty he shows to his friends, his family, I really admired that. And like, I really very loving like to his family and friends. And like I said, like it showed. And like he genuinely like loved his people. And so like I always felt like I'm gonna get a piece of that. Like when I first met him, like that was the first thing that I noticed. And like I just knew like, oh, this is how he treat his people, you know what I'm saying? He gonna definitely do the same for me. And like I would never say like I told y'all, like I said before, I would never take away the fact that he definitely loved me, but I just don't think that he was in love with me until the end. And at that point I had fallen out of love with him. And so that's just all I'm gonna say. I just wanted to know, I don't want to leave this on a bad note or like a bad taste in anybody's mouth. Like, he's not a bad person at all. And I just want to stress that to y'all, because it can be easy to think like from the outside looking in. And I know a lot of y'all like watched videos and y'all be like, oh, his vibe is off and blah 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 blah. But like I said, he just probably wasn't my person. Like, and we was trying to make that fit. And like, that's like a puzzle. You ever see a puzzle piece and it looked like it might kind of can fit, and you trying to kind of get it in a hole, and it's like, nah, this ain't the piece that goes there. That's kind of like our situation. We was trying to force that piece in so badly, and it was just never meant to be. And so like I said, that's just what it is. Or at least not like, it's not, it just wasn't meant to be. So like, that's just how I feel. He wasn't my person, but he's somebody's person. So I would never take away like, just because we weren't compatible, he's compatible with somebody out there, and vice versa with me. Like, I'm compatible with somebody who I don't know yet, but we all have a person. We all have a soulmate. We all have a person that we're meant to be with. I really wish I knew who my person was, but yeah, that's just kind of how I'm gonna end it off there. Like, it was definitely an experience, and like I told y'all, it was definitely life-changing, and I will forever remember this like for the rest of my life. Like, that was 3-4 years of my life. That was like whenever I think about like anything, like any of the first, or like my first time moving out, when I tell my kids first time I moved out, who I moved out with, like that's just how I can think about it. And like, you know, like I said, we come in people's life for a reason, a lesson or a blessing. I was a lesson to him, he was a lesson to me, and yeah, that's like kind of how it was. Like I said, I will forever have love for this person, but it's just not in the cards for us to, it just wasn't in our cards. And like, I got through the bulk of it, and I'm just gonna continue to get through it. Like, I'm at a very, very happy point in my life, like outside of like just relationships and stuff. Like, my confidence is very high. Like, I'm at a very happy place with life, and like in the direction that I'm going. I'm in school. Like, I'm just trying to do better for me and like my future. It's on me, focus on my likes, my dislikes, create content, what I love to do, and just be a better person for myself. And this is outside of a dude, this is outside of family, like friends. I haven't too funny been talking to anybody since I moved, but just because I need to get a regroup. Like, I really had to regroup myself. And like, I ain't gonna lie, like when I first moved in here, it was good and it was like a fresh start, but I definitely was kind of sad because it was just like an indication of like, this is for real, like it's over with, you know? And that's kind of like how, like, I definitely said I wanted to move, but it was kind of a detachment too. But it's just life, and that's just like how life goes. But I'm in a good place. I'm okay. Like, as far as dating, I know y'all wonder about dating. I am dating here and there. I have like my consistent little person that I deal with, but child, the ghetto. I just feel like dating is so ghetto right now. So like, I just have like this little dude that I'm talking to, but it ain't nothing serious. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, I'm just, anything that I'm in with anybody, I'm definitely taking it slow, and I'm gonna properly vet these people out before I get in too deep, because I'm a lover girl. Like, I am a lover girl to the T, and I know like I got so much to offer, so much love, so much loyalty, honesty. Just, I'm a good person, and I don't just say that to say like I'm a good person. You know, everybody think they're a good person. Everybody ain't good people. No, I'm a good person. It's over. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. I love you all for being on this journey with me and taking the time out y'all day to watch this long ass video. Ass videos, because it's 2 of them, and y'all really made that video go up in one day, and I just, the first thought in my head, I was like, these is nosy. But I know y'all want to know the truth, so I just put out there. And like I said, this was definitely a me thing. I definitely need to do this for myself, like beyond just putting it out there for YouTube. I had to do this for myself, so it's out there. And like I said, anybody who is trying to find the courage to leave a toxic situation, or kind of feeling the same thing that I kind of described how I feel, definitely go with your gut and go with your first mind. Pray, talk to God about it, and like I said, he's always going to reveal to you what you need to do, and it's up to you to follow his path that he's telling you to take, or it's just going to take you a little bit longer to get there. But once you get there, you're gonna recognize the signs that he gave you. And that's kind of like, you know, but yeah, so that's it. So thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you guys in my next freaking video.